Is that considered family?
Yeah.
So your husband is considered family, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So here we go. They said, Monique, we want to play a game of Would You Rather. Let's go. Would you rather your husband sleep with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without one? Well, I'm going to call my brother. I call D.L. Hulgley on the phone. I say, hey, baby, yeah.
Huh?
That's how he responds. Yeah.
Did he know it was you?
Yes, because they called him to let him know Monique's going to be calling.
Right.
Like this, it was getting crazy.
Right.
I'm like, just let me get on the phone with my brother, right?
Yeah.
Hey, DL, yeah. I said, listen, I just got off the phone with your team, and they wanted to play this game, Would You Rather? And it was like, stupid. Like, asking me about my husband and Lee Daniels and Corinne Steffens, and his exact words, well, that's how we do it.
It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a weight set. So Monique was on. Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do has got Captain in front of it.
Oh my. Well, I do declare. Some big old arms you got on you, boy.
Baby, when I tell you Monique got it started. Now, when I first heard that Shannon Sharpe and Monique was going to have a conversation, this was my initial reaction. But seriously though, Shannon Sharpe has been having one hell of a year, and when I found out Monique was coming on the show to have a conversation, I knew it was going to be good. Now, as y'all know, Cat Williams was recently on the show last month, and baby, Cat Williams told it all, and it set the YouTube and the world on fire. And Monique came through, and she did not disappoint. Now, she spoke on a lot of things and a lot of people. As you know, she has had her own grievances with a few comedians out here, including DL, Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish, her situation with Oprah, Tyler Perry, and a few others. And she even addressed Skip Bayless when it came to Shannon Sharpe. But today we're going to be talking about her conversation and what she said about D.L. Hulgley and him responding to what she claimed happened on his radio show. Now, if you guys did not know, D.L. Hulgley and Monique has had a standing beef for some years now, and nobody knew where it stemmed from. But according to Monique, she had a falling out with D.L. over her visiting his radio show. Now, at the time when she visited his radio show, he was not there, but his team was there. And I guess they was having some type of game in which they was asking her, would she rather? And this is what she had to say about it.
Is that considered family?
Yeah.
So your husband is considered family, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So here we go. They said, Monique, we want to play a game of Would You Rather. Let's go. Would you rather your husband sleep with Lee Daniels with a condom or Corinne Steffens without one?
Really, Monique?
Now, as y'all are watching right now who haven't heard this story, y'all going, they doing the same thing in the studio. They going, okay. That is exactly what happened.
Now, I want to stop it right there. What kind of question is that to ask Monique about her husband sleeping with an openly gay man such as Lee Daniels, who she also had a beef with at the time, and him sleeping with a known whore in Hollywood? What kind of question is that? Where is the joke in that? But I'm going to let y'all finish watching the video.
Now, I say to the team, how does that uplift our community? I said, sister, and her name is Jasmine, how could you ask another sister that? Well, we just planned. I said, tell me the joke in that, because I don't know what you're insinuating. Then you're involving people that have nothing to do with nothing. Like, what are y'all doing? So I said, I'm going to call my brother. DL. I'm going to call my brother. I call D.L. Hulgley on the phone. I say, hey, baby, yeah.
Huh?
That's how he responds. Yeah.
Did he know it was you?
Yes, because they called him to let him know Monique's going to be calling.
Right.
Like this, it was getting crazy.
Right.
I'm like, just let me get on the phone with my brother, right?
Yeah.
Hey, DL, yeah. I said, listen, I just got off the phone with your team and they wanted to play this game, Would You Rather? And it was like stupid. Like asking me about my husband and Lee Daniels and Corinne Steffens. And his exact words were, that's how we do it. I said, DL, how does that uplift our community? And again, I don't know what y'all trying to insinuate, but brother, what you doing? Like I said, that's just how we do it. So it is what it is. Now, it got so ugly that my attorney had to send a cease and desist.
Now, of course, DL had to come out and speak his piece on the situation. And you know what? He has every right to come out and speak his piece on it because his name was mentioned in the interview. Now, I did not like his response at all. I'm going to be honest with y'all. You know, he proceeded to call Shannon Sharpe messy, said that he was the next Wendy Williams, and then he proceeded to fat shame Monique and go in on her husband once again. And after I heard that, I didn't even really want to hear anything else that he had to say. He did address the situation by basically saying that they did have a conversation, but he was not being dismissive, that he did have the episode pulled. But like she said, she did say in the interview that the episode was pulled, and that the reason why it was pulled is that she had to get the lawyers involved and send a cease and desist. But this is what his response is. Check this out.
It's almost like Wendy Williams didn't go anywhere. She just got a weight set. So Monique was on. Every time I see Monique these days, she's on doing some greasy ass video with her and her daddy complaining about something or working out. I don't know nobody that work out that much and gain weight unless every crunch you do has got Captain in front of it. But apparently she goes on Club Shay Shay and tells the story about how she came on my radio show and I wasn't there at the time. And my co-host Jasmine Sanders played a game that we played all the time with everybody called Would You Rather. She apparently was so offended by that she said she got off. She called me. Monique did, and she said I was very dismissive, like, Monique's a liar. When Monique did call me, I heard her complaints, I listened to her, and I pulled the segment. So if I had been as dismissive as she alleges I was, that segment would have aired. It didn't, because I respected her wishes. She's a liar. It's also befuddles the shit out of me how somebody who as a comedian talks as much shit about everybody else as she does. She has the temerity to be offended about anything as much shit as you say about people. Then she encouraged everybody, allegedly it stems from the fact that I used to always talk shit about her on video after video, and she encouraged her sweet babies to look at the video and find them. Do that. Do exactly what she says. And you know what you're not going to find? You're not going to find any evidence of that because Monique is a fucking liar. She's lying about that.
But Monique did not lie. She did say that the episode was pulled, and the only reason why the episode was pulled was because she had to send you a cease to desist through her lawyers. So she did not lie. But it's very interesting that D.L. Hulgley is so hot and bothered about what Monique had to say when she was simply just telling the story exactly how it happened. And she was truthful about it. And you know, he proceeded to go in on her family, go in on her husband, you know, which basically, you know, reiterate the fact that he nor his team have respect for her and her family. Now, Monique might be a lot of things. Monique said in that same interview with Shannon Sharpe that people in Hollywood do not really mess with her like that and don't like her because she speaks the truth, much like Cat Williams. Hence why you don't see them on the silver screen. Hence why their names don't get mentioned when it comes to the top comedians in Hollywood. Hence why you don't see them get big $1 million comedy special deals, because they're not well liked, because they're willing to tell the truth and shame the devil. You see, the gatekeepers in Hollywood do not like that. They don't like when you tell the truth, hence why they're not getting the opportunity that they deserve. And D.L. Hulgley is clearly a puppet, and he's bothered. And it's very interesting that he would sit up here and talk about her husband, trying to, you know, emasculate her husband, but at the same time, you're the same man that stepped out on your marriage and had a side baby who eventually passed on. That God don't like ugly. You know what I'm saying? You're the same man that went against your own daughter when she came to you and told you that she was being violated and you did not believe her. But you got so much to say about Monique, though. And it's funny that Cat Williams spared you, but Monique decided to tell the truth about who you really are, and you showed yourself for who you really are. But Monique did make a response to what D.O. had to say, and I want y'all to check this clip out.
We just wanted to take a few minutes to address a couple of things that have taken place after the Club Shay Shay interview. Much love to Shannon Sharpe.
Yes.
Good brother. Thank you for allowing Monique to come on the platform, be a listening ear. Continued success on what it is that you're doing. Thank you for being a real one.
Yeah, baby. Thank you. Thank you.
We wanted to address first and foremost our brother, D.L. Hulgley. And we are firm believers on what is right and what is wrong.
Yes.
So we got to start off by saying there was an inaccuracy as it regards Monique saying that there was a cease and desist that was given to DL to shut it down. What had taken place, to be accurate, was after Monique spoke to Brother DL on that conversation, Brother DL said, what?
Well, after we spoke on that conversation, when we hung up that phone, the last thing he said was, "It is what it is." And I said, DL, then we're going to have to get our attorney involved. That's the last thing me and DL Hulgley said on that conversation.
And after having that conversation with Monique, we went and got our attorney involved, Attorney Anderson. At the time, there were some emails that were transferred back and forth between his side and our side, and it escalated to a point when we had our attorney on the email, whereby then finally DL said that he would scratch the interview.
Yes.
So it was inaccurate that a cease and desist had to be given. However, that was the next step, and that's what Monique remembered, because when I discussed it with her, we said that would be the next step. But to DL's credit, at that moment, when it had escalated, that's when he decided to shut it down. However, that is a bit different from how it seemed to have been communicated, whereby on the phone, they were having a conversation and it was kumbaya. Though he never used those words, kumbaya, it did not end with her being under the impression that this was going to be resolved and shut down. So we wanted to make that clear out of love and respect for Brother DL. And despite all the commentary that he gave, with all the crunches she be doing, the captain's in the front.
I do.
And
I do.
tell him.
I'm a sneak snacker, baby.
And she doesn't sneak when she snacks.
Okay. Hey.
But nonetheless, we wanted to be clear, because at the end of the day, we black folks in this world of entertainment. And there was a level of harshness in his return that seemed a little bit exaggerated for the moment. And we wanted to make it clear, and I think Monique can do it best when she speaks in reference to what she meant while talking about DL in the past.
You know, when I watched DL say she went after my wife, she went after my daughters, I want to really be clear who I went after, so that there's no confusion here. When I was on stage, when I'm on stage and we are performers, we are performing to the audience in front of us. When I was on that stage and I said it must be hard to perform oral sex,
but differently,
okay, on a coward, that had nothing to do with Mrs. Hulgley. That insult was directed straight to you, DL. That had nothing to do with your wife. That was straight to you. So it felt like you were trying to pass it off as if I was going after your wife. When it comes to your daughter, to the baby that you did a post about, you did an interview about, I didn't do that interview. I simply reposted what you said. So when you say, Monique, you went after my daughter, that's untrue, DL. I posted what you said. And then when you said when you were really going for it with your shades on, and you said, Monique said, I stood by and watched my daughter be raped. DL Hulgley, that's your conscience talking to you, brother. I never said that. I never said that. And I want to be a little clear about something else. Never would I try to do anything to harm any of your babies, because we got babies too. So never would I try to do anything to harm your children. However, what I was saying to your daughter and to the other daughters out there, I know what it's like for your daddy to know you've been touched and he not protect you, because my daddy did the same thing. That's what that whole point was. But I was showing why I would call you a coward, brother. I don't think it's brave that you didn't protect your baby. So when I said what I was saying, let me be clear to you, D.L. Hulgley, it had nothing to do in reference to your family, and you know that. Now, when you were speaking and you were going off and you said, what did you say? She was so offended by the game we play, but you didn't say what the offense was. And that's the part for me that is disheartening, that you continue to try to trick and smoke and mirror our people. If you're going to say it all the way through. When you say family is sacred, you are absolutely right, baby. You're right. But when you say would my husband rather, and you co-sign your team of people doing that, well, isn't my husband sacred? So you got to be careful in your words, because the very words you use, DL, they're going to come back, and they're coming back to bite you, baby. And what I also said on Club Shay Shay, when I looked in that camera, I said, DL, I love you, brother. And I don't know if you didn't hear that part, but we really do. We love you, brother. And if ever you get courageous enough to want to have a conversation, we're always open to it, because doing that, it shows how our community can get better. When you're wrong, as we have said to you, hey brother, we apologize on that one.
Yeah, incorrect on the cease and desist.
Okay, y'all, I'm gonna stop her right there. So Monique and her husband Sydney addressed what DL had to say, and he had a lot to say about Monique and her husband and her family, and of course they had a lot to say about, you know, what he had said. They responded to what he said. And, you know, honestly, I just think that DL got defensive, and obviously his conscience got the best of him, because he knew deep down inside he was wrong in how he handled the situation with Monique and his team, as how they approached her with that joke. Obviously that was not funny. Obviously it was a jab towards her and her husband, and it wasn't right. And my thing is with Sydney, you know, you may not personally like Sydney or care for Sydney, but at the end of the day, that is her husband. He's been with her when she had everything. He was been with her when she lost everything, and he's still standing with her. And it's, you know, it's a refreshing to see a black man stand next to his wife through it all. So hate him or love him, but you got to respect the hustle, and you got to respect that family. But anywho, they also mentioned in that same conversation that Monique will be going on tour with Cat Williams. So once again, Cat Williams is out here playing chess, and he is winning. But anywho, I want to hear what you guys got to say about this conversation. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm gonna holler at y'all later.